Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Sorry if you can hear any noise outside. And yeah, we are back once again with another video. This is just a normal West Ham news video because I didn't have enough time to go live. So I'm just going to take you through some of the West Ham news headlines that are going on. Just a couple ones that we can just update the audience with and just talk about, really. Because the next live will be tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. With the West Ham Aston Villa preview. And you'll have the live match reaction at 10 p.m. on a Saturday as well. I need you guys to answer this question as well. Do you guys want me to do game week predictions every week? And do you want them to be live or pre-recorded? Leave that in the comments as well. Also, the FPL is in the community page. For anyone that hasn't joined it already, go and click on the first thing in the community page. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Now, there's been a few headlines, of course, to do with individual players and stuff, and it's been very interesting. And I think we knew this was going to happen if you guys watched the Betway Cup game anyway. But let's get into the first and main headline, which is in the title. Captain Bowen. Now, obviously, we kind of knew this for a while. We did kind of know this for a while due to the fact that it was originally said that Ward-Prowse right early in May. I remember seeing that article from what is it, The Athletic, and then Edson Alvarez was a contender, Max Kilman was a contender, and when it became between the three of Bowen, Kilman, and Alvarez, which was the rumored three, I said Alvarez because I believe that he has more captain traits that I look for in a captain, and more vocal captains, and I believe that you shouldn't give the captain's armband to someone who's just signed, so I wouldn't have given it to Max Kilman. Same way when Moyes tried bringing in Harry Maguire and tried promising the captaincy armband, I wouldn't have given it to Harry Maguire if he had joined last season. But also, with Jarrod Bowen, I understand why he's been given captain. I'm not frustrated. I'm not really too bothered because I know there's going to be a lot of captains without the armband in terms of our team. We've got the balance of experience and youth players, where I feel like we've got the right amount of leadership in our team anyway. I know Cresswell, whether he's playing or not, he'll be a vocal person. I know Antonio has been in for a long time. He's got leadership. I do believe Kurt Zouma has some leadership. I just don't believe he's captain material in terms of the main captain. But I believe behind the scenes, I think he would be a good vocal. He's got experience. Fulkirk has got experience. Ward-Prowse has been a captain for a team. Kilman's been a captain of a team as well. Thomas Souček and Vladimir Sufal are experienced players as well. We've got enough experience for there's going to be a lot of captains without the armband within our squad for me. So I'm more than fine with this happening. I think also when you think about it, obviously when I said Alvarez, I was thinking, yeah, he's more of the captain, but you also got to think about availability if you're appointing a captain, in my opinion. And I think Jarrod Bowen, despite his couple of injuries last season, he's going to be way more available than Edson Alvarez is, due to the fact that we've seen him get injured a couple of times and suspended as well. And he's probably going to get a red card this season, one way or another. So I think it's very, very fair for Jarrod Bowen to be captain. He's really embraced the club since he's been in, and we've only just seen improvement, despite the fact that he's 28, 27. We've only really seen improvement from Jarrod Bowen. We haven't really seen any decrease in levels. I know he had a hard time throughout the first 6 months of the 22-23 season, but ever since that Liverpool 3-2 win, when we beat Liverpool 3-2 all them years ago, he's just been going up. That was the game for me when I saw Jarrod Bowen really come into his own as a person, because if you would think before then, when we under David Moyes in that era, Said Benrahma and Jarrod Bowen, it'll be either one of them to play. I know obviously we had Lingard at the time, so it'd be Lingard, Fornals, and either one of the two of Benrahma or Bowen, because Fornals and Lingard were the ones that Moyes trusted more. So they had to fight for a position. But then Bowen, we needed Bowen to make that position his own, and then he did. At right wing, he made that position his own, and he's only gone up ever since. So credit to Jarrod Bowen. He's really embraced it. Obviously, you've got a West Ham family, really settled in. Contract from last season. I've never been worried in them stupid rumours of him leaving for Newcastle, which is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with it. He's gonna have another good season as well. He's gonna have another good season, and he's gonna score a lot of goals. Like that's what I expect from Jarrod Bowen. I don't really expect anything less. But when it comes to him, like he's one of the players that like you probably have the least doubt in. You know what I mean? Like you may doubt like quite a lot of the players. Like you can say like a couple critiques about specific players and their attributes or their personality or their character, etc. But with Jarrod Bowen, I can't. Simple as that. I want to get into this tweet at first. I don't usually bite because I don't usually. I'm not really triggered by this, but I want to just put this narrative to bed because I even tweeted yesterday the Moyes inners are very easy to trigger. I remember I didn't even say the word Moyes in a reply of a tweet, and a lot of the Moyes inner guys. I'm not mentioning their accounts, but they were not happy. I was seeing paragraphs or just have a day off. HLTCO is a good account on Twitter. It has to be said, West Ham have had an extremely impressive summer in the transfer market, and it's all that window. And obviously, there's going to be a few signings below. Into the fray, YouTube. Don't give this guy any hate, but I just want to put this narrative to bed. He even said himself, "I'm not going to argue with fans." He said in another tweet, "I'm not going to argue with fans that know their club more." I just want to put this narrative to bed for anyone watching that is new to the channel. I've got a feel for David Moyes. They'll be lauding the new manager if he's successful, but where was this level of ambition for him? Well, first of all, why wouldn't we laud the manager if he's successful? But I need to address a few things. Moyes had a big say in the recruitment strategy, which hindered our ambition last season. So him and Steiner were not in the same direction. The reason why Lopetegui and Steiner are working well so together is quite simply they're looking in the same direction. I even saw a quote from Lopetegui saying that the manager should have the keys to the club, which he is very with the whole director of football model. So that's coming from Lopetegui himself. And let's look at some of the signings quickly. Let me scroll down a bit as well. Let's have a look at the signings. These are all the signings, yeah? Okay, we would have never signed Guilherme. Fotheringham, fair enough. Kilman, he was interested in anyway, but we would have played Kilman in a deep line. It wouldn't have made sense. Somerville wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have got the best out of Fulkirk. Wan-Bissaka, fair enough, but I still think Lopetegui would get more out of Wan-Bissaka than Moyes would. We wouldn't have signed Sadibo in the first place. He would have wanted someone Premier League proven. We would have gone back in for the Maguires and McTominays. And yeah, Rodriguez was on a free. So I still think we wouldn't have signed him just because he wasn't Premier League proven. And he still would have played a midfield of Souček, Ward-Prowse and Alvarez. He would have played Paquetá on the left still. Would have played Bowen up front. Or he would have played Souček and Ward-Prowse in midfield as a pivot. And Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen, Antonio. And listen, that front four ain't bad, but under his football, it doesn't make a difference. They're going off moments and opportunities in terms of that situation. Moyes was the same guy who gave Zuma captain. Like, listen, I was quite happy when Zuma got captain at the time, but Zuma's not available enough. So it didn't really, again, in hindsight, that didn't really make any sense. I guess I should have seen that at the time as well. But Moyes would have got the best out of these players, and we would have signed these players under Moyes because that's the whole reason why it took so long to sign people. If you guys actually look 5 days ago, like where you're seeing this on a Thursday, the 15th of August, you see 5 days ago, a year ago, that was when we made our first signing last season. So let's put that into perspective real quick. You see under Moyes as well, it's not like he wasn't backed with Paquetá, Scamacca, and Kera, and Flynn Downs, and Aged, and all these players at the time that he approved that didn't get the best out of. Not that I agree that a lot of those players are. I think Aged isn't good enough. I think Kera could have done a job at right back, just not at centre back. I think he was a terrible centre back, but a good right back. Flynn Downs could have had more out of him. Scamacca and Paquetá, need I say any more? Maxwell Cornet got injured, so fair enough. I'm not going to put that on Moyes, but I'll put that fact that he didn't play much last season, and the 2 times he did play last season, he got a goal and an assist. I'm really sorry if you can hear lawnmower noises outside, but I have no other time to record. So, but yeah, let's put that narrative to bed. Like, we moved on. I don't get people that are still clicking on to David Moyes. It's not even your club. You don't even support this club, so please just leave us alone. Honestly, Honestly, man, I'm sick of hearing his name, and I don't need to see that again. I don't need to see that again. It's not like Moyes did have a choice. Moyes wants to take over the whole recruitment strategy. In fact, Sullivan even saw himself, and I'm not going to give credit to Sullivan at all. I never will. But Sullivan brought in his own director of football because he knew that after the season that Moyes just had, despite the Conference League, and he probably would have gone if he lost it anyway, that they needed to move on. But obviously, knowing Sullivan, he took the cheap option by just letting Moyes run down his contract instead of sacking him. So that's still there's something wrong with Sullivan. However, he's now let a director of football handle the footballing decisions, which has taken him fucking 14 years to do. The reason why I'll never give credit to Sullivan is because when owning the club, it's taken you 14 years to hand it to a director of football. But let's stop all that now, because like if we had bought all these players under Moyes, yeah, we would still be gassed about the window, but we would still be like, well, how's the manager going to deal with it? We have no confidence in what the manager's going to do, because the manager wanted to change the whole style of football and then play the same style of football. That's what he wanted to do 2 years ago when he signed all those possession-based players. He even said it in podcasts, I want to be more attacking. I pointed Mark Warburton in. You can watch on Mark Warburton interviews. He was brought in to change the style of football with his ideas, and he kept ignoring him. You can even watch Antonio's interviews. Antonio even said that when they wanted to change the style of football, he said it on his podcast, and he said it on a Filthy Fellas interview as well. But let's move on. We don't need to talk about Moyes much this season, but I will call it out when I see it. I'm going to call out a reporter very soon, very, very soon, because agendas are quite clear to see when it comes to all this kind of stuff. But let's get on to the new manager, because interestingly, I don't know. I haven't read the full article, which is very dangerous, but this is very interesting. Yuli Lopetegui says, we are working. Manager tells Spanish media West Ham want more signings talks about Hammer's plans. That's on Sport Witness. The reason why I haven't clicked on the article is because I'm going to assume that you have to pay for the full article to read it. But I'm going to have a read anyway. He's talked to Marsa. West Ham are still working to bring in new signings, more new faces in the club in the next few weeks. We had a small squad, and the idea is to have two players per position. We haven't achieved that yet, but we are working on it. Okay, so let's go through that quickly. Goalkeeper, yes, we have 2 players in position. Okay, right back, yes. We have 2 players per position. Centre back, we have 4 centre backs. He's not talking about left back. On both wings, he has 2 players in per position because he's looking to play Kudus and Guilherme on either side, and Bowen and Somerville as well. So we have 4 wingers technically. And Maxwell Cornet, if he's going to stay, I doubt he's going to stay if there's an opportunity for him to leave. We have 3 strikers. We have 2 players that can play number 10 in Paquetá and Kudus. Again, yes, I'm using the same players for the same positions, but we're not going to sign another number 10. I don't see the point. So my thing is, the position I missed out on is maybe number 8 that he likes. Like, I can't really see what other position we'd be going for, and the fact that we're still interested in Carlos Soler, I think says a lot about what he thinks about the midfield. Apparently, he doesn't mind Ward-Prowse, so that only leads to number 28 being the guy that he doesn't like. But then again, he also played him 90 minutes in the Betway Cup, so it is. We will see. We will see. He also says in this article, and credit to Sport Witness if you guys want to go and check out the full article for yourself. All the signings are to our liking, and that's of the sporting management. No coach should hold the keys to the future of the club, which is what I said earlier. The idea was to bring in players who could know the Premier League so that British culture is in the dressing room. What did I say in previous videos? He wants a British core, which is the same thing he said at Wolves. That's why he brought in Max Kilman. Well, that's why he wanted Max Kilman, not he brought him in. So that British culture is in the dressing room, and then to be able to mix different ways of understanding football. So that's what you get. You get the British core, and then you get all the foreign players around him. Max Kilman, Crysencio Summerfield, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Wes Foderingham, before the 8 signings who already have the experience of playing in England. The Premier League signers like Guido Rodriguez. When are you talking about Edson Alvarez? Okay, he talked about Guido. It's a very important position. Guido comes to help us in that position. He has experience and a very interesting career. He's intelligent positionally. He has to adapt as soon as possible to the rhythm of English football, meaning he's going to play quite a bit. On the expectation of West Ham owners, they always want the team to be as competitive as possible and create a long-term project. But we have to focus on the present. I want to talk about Big Six and Big Ten. Any team can beat anyone in the Premiership. The grades will come in May, and that kind of says a lot, really, about. I always feel a bit more ambitious under this manager than I ever have under any sort of manager within the Premier League. So that's what you know Lopetegui said about that. Let's get on to one of the less important stories. The Carabao Cup's second round draw was out yesterday. Obviously, we don't play the next round because we're not in Europe. We are facing Bournemouth at home. Obviously, a lot of us probably wanted Millwall either away or home. Ideally, I would have wanted them at home because I can actually go to the game. I can't go to the Den because the tickets will be sold out immediately, and we will only be allowed like half of the crowd because of police anyway, especially on a midweek day. So we've got to wait until either the next round if they beat Leyton Orient and we beat Bournemouth, or the FA Cup. We're probably never going to face Millwall again, are we? Because they're too shit to get promoted. We're not going to get relegated. I don't want to get relegated just to face Millwall, by the way. I even said on a Do West Ham fans think the same video on George Killian's channel. I don't want them to get promoted because I hate them too much. I don't care about facing them within the same league. I don't care about that. I wouldn't mind like to face Leyton Orient either. We've not had a East London derby ever. And we've not had one in my lifetime, barring pre-season. But Bournemouth at home is a dodgy one. But the fact that we're at home, it gives me a bit more hope. What I want the manager to do, I don't want him to throw away the cups. We're not in Europe, so we've got no excuse to not, try for the cups this season. I will be critical if we don't actually try the cups or we falter in the cups. If I see like, obviously I don't want to see like the same lineup every time, but I want to see a good enough lineup that could be good enough to beat whatever Bournemouth side that they line up. But let's get on to the last story of the video. And we kind of knew this for a bit. George Murphy has gone on loan to Bristol City. Now, I think this is actually a really good loan. Now, he probably wasn't going to play that much because we have a big squad anyway. And he is clearly the future of the club and he can clearly play a part within the future. The reason why this is such a good loan is because of the style of play, of the way Bristol City play, like to play through the lines and shit like that. They play two number 10s behind a striker. They need someone that can play left wing / number 10, as a couple of their fans said on Twitter. And Liam Manning used to be the West Ham youth coach, and he clearly knows George Murphy from that time. Now, it's funny enough, his first game is against Millwall. We'll see if he's in the squad for that. I doubt he'll start because he joined midweek. But I will be looking at Bristol City very closely to see if he plays and to see how well he does. I don't doubt he'll do well. And also, I think Lopetegui was quite impressed with him within the Betway Cup. So he's going to be the future anyway. I think regardless of what happens, he's going to be the future. But it's just good to get him first team football because if you're not going to play now, there's no point putting you in the Premier League 2 section. But that is it from me. Obviously, go and check it. Go and click on the FPL to join. I'm going to be live on Hanno's channel. So go and check that out. Go and check out yesterday's live stream on Ores Talks Football as well. I was on that. We'll go through our Premier League predictions. Big up to Ores and big up to Hanno, of course, as always. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. And the email for the inquiries. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're nearly out there. And we're trying to hit it before the end of the year. We can hit it before the end of the month. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 p.m. See you later.